action. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of war movies that aren't Apocalypse Now. It seems like every take on the genre bears less authenticity than the last, but surely Stanley Kubrick of all people will have broken the mold, said something more than war is a terrible thing because of how it affects American soldiers. So who are these guys? They're not Marines. They're not the press. They're the ones making the film. Full Metal Jacket is split into halves. The first is a straightforward military satire. The second, commonly interpreted as a shift towards serious drama, rather ventures further into the weeds. It's not tragedy, it's another farce. A meta-satire on war films themselves, one that's so precisely constructed that it passes as the genuine article. Apocalypse Now plays it straight, although Ford Coppola utilises irony and contradiction heavily. Not just to say that the Vietnam War was pointless chaos, but the horror. Kubrick would have seen this film and thought, this is the Vietnam War. It just happens to be a movie. He also would have seen the years of slop that it spawned, and decided, apparently, to do the same thing. Say exactly what everyone else was saying. 8 years after the Vietnam War movie came out. Look at how they shoot. Look at how they fall. Part Hartman. We begin with a classic Kubrick sarcasm. Goodbye my sweetheart, hello Vietnam. Note their lobotomized faces and we're off to the races. The drill sergeant is noted to be a massive highlight for a reason. He's got all the one-liners, and I do mean all of them.
How tall are you, Private? Sir, 5'9", sir! 5'9", I didn't know they stacked shit that high. You trying to squeeze an inch in on me somewhere, huh? Sir, no, sir! Bullshit, it looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress.
He's got the aggression, the bravado, everything you would hope to see in this character. The swearing and wordplay are pyrotechnic. He radiates with self-reverence and awe at his role. This man is the army. Although he claims not to discriminate, the language used says otherwise. A lot of the comedy comes from the sergeant being completely immune to reason. Yes, dehumanizing, de-individualizing, hollowing the self out and filling it with a killing machine, whatever.
Kill, kill, kill! I can't hear you! Kill, kill, kill!
This shot is beautiful and carefully placed. Pyle's abuse at the hands of the sergeant and his fellow privates wear him down little by little. We see the indoctrinating mantra.
My rifle and myself are defenders of my country. We are the masters of our enemy. We are the saviors of my life. So be it, until there is no enemy, but peace. Amen.
Everything is there. The way Snowball bellows out his line and titters off seems so silly in retrospect. Our attention is so focused on the drill instructor that we barely notice that our cast are complete cartoon characters. Here, Joker looks like a page out of a manga. I believe that the main directorial instruction given was to act like how they saw soldiers portrayed in the movies, not act as soldiers in a war. While the film has not yet completely pulled the rug out from under the viewer, there are still inklings, remnants from one half, that bleed into the other. The duality of man? How about the duality of the film? The acting and blocking tell us, subtly, that something isn't right, a signal of the pitch-black magic to come. For instance here, they simultaneously and robotically sneak to their predetermined spots. Yes, this was planned, but it's certainly not the last time it happens. The stage is set and the actors know their lines. Sadly, even good-hearted Joker is cruelly pressured into giving his poor associate a good whacking, and is promptly tortured by guilt to the point of literally covering his ears with his hands.
Marines die. That's what we're here for. But the Marine Corps lives forever. And that means you live forever.
Though soldiers die, the Marine Corps lives forever, and therefore you are promised a slice of eternity. An old lie, a final piece, to sugarcoat the poison pill. Pyle makes the infantry, a product of his journey from a complete fuck-up to a man obsessed with his gun, the perfect Marine. Let's talk about the scene, shall we? This is the turning point. Pyle sits on the toilet, rifle at his side, and absolute madness in his eyes. Every camera trick and filmmaking technique, including the Kubrick stare, are used to show that this guy has completely lost his mind. Joker, a man with eyes, asks whether the ammunition is indeed ammunition. This is where the two halves mix cleanly. We still occupy the reality the film has heretofore established, but the later elements are creeping in. The turn-based dialogue, the pauses, and the toothless lines. The curtains are beginning to open. Pyle begins shouting, which awakens the building, including the sergeant, who screams several relevant questions to Joker. He, a man with eyes, is informed that Pyle is heavily armed, followed by this reaction shot. Hartman softens from authoritarian to authoritative, demanding Pyle relinquish the weapon and get away from it. Pyle starts breathing like an actual monster, and points the gun at the sergeant. In response, he does not slip into the "come on son, we're all friends here, stop pointing your gun at me and give it here" bit even for a second, reverting to his usual abusive tirade, the impetus for Pyle's madness to begin with. He is so entrenched in his persona that he would literally not give it up to save his life. A microcosm of the film, exaggerated characterization, gesture towards reality, going back to exaggeration. Pyle shoots Hartman square in the chest. Exactly what you would expect to happen given both of their behaviours. My dad found it shocking. I laughed. All of the breadcrumbs set this up, an outcome so telegraphed that it serves as a comedic anticlimax in spite of its intensity. As Pyle points the rifle at Joker, who looks mildly concerned, he tells the killer to go easy. Pyle sits back on the toilet and blows his brains out, leaving Joker even more mildly concerned. In the way of comparison, Willard wakes up disappointed that he's not at the front lines. Take this scene as an emblem of his character.
Okay, right, sir. Hey, listen, it's a real big night. $8 for that camo.
Hey! Damn.
Just give him some fuel.
You got it.
It's cheesy, but it's a damn tough moment. He is a tough guy. This man is the army, like Hartman, but his mind is still overcome by Kurtz, spiritual death at the hands of pure corruption and madness, like Pyle. Nothing Joker says is tough. Nothing he does is tough. He's not a character. He doesn't get an arc, merely the suggestion of one. I think I was trying to feel something about my descent into the heart of darkness, sir. When Pyle and Hartman die, no characters are left, and therefore the second sequence begins. They stop talking like humans, their environment ceases to be believable, and they literally lose the plot. Part Pyle. Welcome to Vietnam. Who the hell is this? Certainly doesn't look like any propaganda poster of Ho Chi Minh I've seen. Perhaps it's the official state racist caricature of his unnamed deputy that happens to be plastered everywhere in the country. It's actually an advert for a French-Vietnamese toothpaste brand, hence the pearly whites. When everything else is destroyed in the city, only the advertisement survives. Speaking of offensive caricatures, I would advise against taking this scene at face value comedically in today's woke nightmare. It's not making fun of Vietnamese women in a way you couldn't get away with now. It's making fun of how Vietnamese women were portrayed. It's literally the stereotype. Nothing else. This guy steals the US soldier's camera, and they're like, whoa! He flings it to his impromptu getaway driver, who was not present in previous establishing shots. He does some epic kung fu moves, while his accomplice dispassionately revs his motorcycle. Joker does some epic kung fu moves of his own, intimidating the thief into leaving, with the camera, which he seemed to have a very easy time of getting replaced. Lucky for these guys that the scheme worked out despite the non-Euclidean logistics. From this scene, we can tell that the movie has progressed, or perhaps degenerated, from a black comedy social satire into a surrealist piss-take. The underhanded message being, look at how they thought things happened. I wanna go to war! I wanna kill! I wanna kill people! I wanna go to war! I wanna fight in a war! I wanna kill people! Joker, can I get a confirmed kill, please? Thank you. Fuck, man, this is so boring. I wish I was killing people in a war. I wanna get back in this shit. You were never in this shit. They're verbally replicating a washed-out version of how Hartman talks. This scene marks the beginning of Full Metal Jacket as intentionally unfunny comedy show with built-in laugh track.
You eat the boogers out of a dead man's nose, then ask for seconds.
Listen up, Pilgrim. A day without blood is like a day without sunshine.
Shit. Joker thinks the bad bush is between an old mama san's legs. He's never been in the shit.
These guys love to laugh. Whether it's setup, payoff, or punchline, they just can't get enough of it. They mention the 1,000-yard stare, and conveniently for Joker, they're called in for battle. The true comedy begins. Not quite sure where all these VC bombs are coming from, But these guys sure are lucky that they control their detonations so poorly. They're more ambient noise than imminent threat. The sourceless fires, too, appear to light the scene quite nicely. Just fucking with us. Do you not see the fire? Change your tune a bit there, Jay. Also lucky for them that they arrived just in time for this likely CIA-funded attack on a heavily guarded US Marine base, wherein they appear to throw themselves and their equipment one by one into the line of fire, which again, lucky for them, immediately explodes after passing the barrier. While less proficient in returning fire, these guys are very talented at running through it, as well as making no noise whatsoever when shot. After gaining S+ rank in the mission, ceasefire is called, which they completely ignore. They get some W prisoners of war out of it. I get you rightfully distrust your fellow journalists, but even I'd say your armaments are a little excessive, Joker. This guy just can't get enough grenades. Photographer Rafterman elects himself to go to the front lines with him, orders which he received as punishment. He's so evil I can barely keep my helmet on. Yeah, I love killing! I love killing people! I wanna kill! Yeah! Kill! I wanna kill more! I'm killing! It's anyone's guess why these people are running towards the flight path of the helicopter gunning them down. Rafterman decides to take a picture when he pauses shooting to talk about how much he loves killing people. Any women? Or children? I'm a killer! How could you shoot women? Or children? Literally puffing his cheeks out like a child pretending to vomit. The helicopter ride with this incredibly evil man serves as their transport to the Red Mist Zone. They go where everyone else isn't, but at least they have a lot of medical vehicles on their side. We're still getting some really decent kills here, despite being led directly to it per his request. Very kind of that gentleman to go out of his way. Joker seems downright displeased with the situation. Unlike the indifferent film crew, which includes a woman recording while wearing jeans, as well as guys in suits that look like producers or executives. In this Vietnamese war zone, cameras everywhere, with a mixture of soldiers and civilians. Everyone's here to film. They cover and uncover their noses seemingly at random, but the smell doesn't seem to bother other, more main characters. The crew are diegetic, as we can see the Colonel talking to them before addressing Joker. Yes, these good, very good bodies. Yes, these bodies will work great, yes. Oh, are you sure these bodies are good? Yes, I think we can work with this. I'm a film man. Even though he's been standing beside the lieutenant for a while, Joker introduces himself and salutes here. It's not just their clothes, equipment, and demeanour that makes them out of place. It's that they operate in the exact same reality as the characters. This is the closest thing the film can do to pointing a mirror at the audience. This is a movie saying this is a movie. The fourth wall is wrecked, and the curtains reveal a camera pointing at the audience. They're filming, the music grinds away, and it's just another part of the trick. It's tense, but there's no tension. Is it war? Is it documentation of war? Is it portrayal of war? They're all on the same set. You have the actors playing actors, like Joker, in Full Metal Jacket. You have the actors playing film crew, like this woman, in Full Metal Jacket. And you have Stanley Kubrick directing Full Metal Jacket, which of course he actually did, and therefore he isn't the only real person included but not on camera. That is to say that you, as a viewer, have a role in the film. You have been conscripted into the film as an audience member, and you have cues. Do you follow them? Dare you not? The sheer amount of filmmaking equipment in shot demonstrates that this is not a frank account of war. It's the most disorienting and challenging scene of the film for me. Just look at it! What the actual fuck is going on? Massacre aftermath? Film set? Business meeting? It's an image of the entire war factory. On the outside, crowding around the pit, the soldiers on both sides, the press on both sides, the filmmakers exploiting it, the executives funding it, even the guys who dug the ditch. And on the inside of the pit, 20 dead Vietnamese people. And then there's the duality of man line. After the Colonel questions the contradictory symbols, God knows why he cares, Line Dispenser 01 guesses that he might have done it as a reference to the Jungian concept of the duality of man. But he's probably wrong. Even he doesn't know. He says so.
Where'd you get it?
I don't remember, sir.
What is it supposed to mean?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know very much, do you?
No, sir.
He says so. They do not say anything deep. When they try, all they can do is reference Jung. A red herring is the gesture towards saying something deep. At this point, Joker, despite now being a sergeant himself, seems to have completely lost his already non-existent edge. Every yes sir has less conviction than the last. He's not just uncharismatic and flat, they're all completely devoid of humanity. They're archetypes. The underlying point, war films, and especially Full Metal Jacket, are insincere and shallow. They have the same source, the same viewing experience, and the same predetermined take-home messages. One of the most searched questions about this film is Full Metal Jacket a comedy? If you're not sure, the joke's on you. Yeah, this temple's in pretty rough shape. I wonder if that means anything. Probably not. Joker meets Ranger, whom he apparently knows, but it seems like he needed a moment to think about it. Rafterman decides against photographing either reunion hug, instead opting to adjust his helmet, camera in hand. Lines begin to be repeated like they're NPCs, which intensifies over the course of the film. By the end, they repeat lines 3 or 4 times. They both have glasses, so they probably are brothers. God, I love killing people, and sitting motionless in the corner, but mostly killing people. The built-in laugh track is now ever present.
Oh, you seen much combat?
Well, I've seen a little on TV.
You're a real comedian.
Well, they call me the Joker.
Well, I got a joke for you. I'm gonna tear you a new asshole.
Animal Mother, who is definitely my favourite character after Flubsy McJones and Bill Scrangleton, tries to intimidate Joker, definitely one of my favourite characters, using words. But he totally jokes him. Why is this guy so serious? Look at how this reveal is set up. It seemed like a trick to shock him, but there's just no reaction. He just takes a picture. People have picked up on how stilted the dialogue is in the second half. Just compare it with the first half.
Sir, are you a Peter Puffer? Sir, no, sir! I'll bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
Well, at least they died for a good cause.
What cause was that?
Freedom?
Flush out your hit, you're a new guy.
Instant response versus call, pause for audience reaction, and response. Vietnam is fucking gay! Vietnam is fucking gay! That's what all the Yankees say! That's what... Oh, no. No. Writing an Empire, critic Ian Nathan wrote that the film becomes bereft of purpose after the opening act, and I would agree that it's a very different purpose. Look at what they refuse to see. They move forward, and then they move forward, and then they move forward to their assigned shooting destinations. They go ham on this building. Great time to take a picture, and then a long pause, some more shooting, and it's over. Is the bird is the word tonally appropriate for the war? Is this sweeping shot of its freakish conditions? No. We're following the camera, and so are they. Silence, 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 tank appears in shot, boom! Noise. They react to the camera because they know it's there, and the characters know they're making a movie. First smoking gun shot, he looks directly at our camera and says, "Hey, start the cameras. This is Vietnam the movie!"
Hey, start the cameras! This is Vietnam, the movie!
No question about which camera they're looking at. They move out of the way for the shot. Yep. Look at it. Nope. Yep. Thank you. Yep. In Apocalypse Now, the guy behind the camera is completely mad, constantly tells them not to look at it, and it's only a very minor part of the scene. Nobody talks except our posse, and you know the drill. Lame one-liner, lame one-liner, lame one-liner. Does this feel naturally chaotic? They stand in a circle, looking bored, and boringly say boring lines exactly when the camera points at them. No confidence, no pathos, flat, uncinematic, mechanical. Are you still paying attention? Were you ever? Is that a smile? Is that an actor almost cracking up? The pausing especially just makes it a viciously uncomfortable watch. And not as in phenomenologically unsettling. It's phenomenologically unsettling. The interview segment. The machine has fallen apart. We, again, are shown the filming of the interview. The actors smile and crack up as they spout this clearly improvised gibberish.
I hate Vietnam. There's not one horse in this whole country. They don't have one horse in Vietnam. There's something basically wrong with that.
It's like a war. What I thought a war was supposed to be. They think it's a big joke. And yes, the actors are in on it, and they're especially making fun of US soldiers in this scene. Kubrick is cancelled! Other than these earnest quotes, this scene also contains another smoking gun. These guys wearing normal clothes and headphones, filming the interview. Nope. Look at the reverse shot. Helmets, green. They're not the same guys. People appear and disappear as the camera pleases. This is not reality. This is not Vietnam. This is just the movie. Unless Mr. Kubrick just didn't notice. QED. The first half is funny because it's clever and darkly satirical. The second is funny because it's not funny, and that it makes a complete mockery of itself. Taking your dick out in front of the huzz like it's NBD? It was the 70s after all. Can't do that in Starmer's Vietnam! Even though he didn't pay, Animal Mother gets her first because of some highly questionable reasons. They don't even fight over her, he just accepts this. I know that America did not treat the Vietnamese people particularly well, but why are these guys so hateful? They barely refer to them as anything but slurs. Yes, they did call them that, but that wasn't the only thing they called them. More sourceless fires that never destroy anything. The movie was filmed in a bombed-out wreckage in East London, adding palm trees and false Vietnamese buildings. A fake image built on top of the aftermath of war. He finds a toy which explodes him to death, and I'm meant to take this seriously. At this point it's like watching a little boy play with action figures. There's no flow, none of the characters' actions make sense, and the combat is complete nonsense. They send the guy who dies out to die, and then he dies, because it was his turn to die. An outcome so telegraphed it works as a comedic anticlimax. It watches like a D&D round. In Apocalypse Now, the combat comes unexpectedly, it's audio-visually overwhelming, frenetic, and complete mayhem. Everything happens at once. In Full Metal Jacket, it's orderly, literally composed, happens like an RPG, completely flat audio, they couldn't be more different. Let's do a quick murder from one of Kubrick's other films. Bam! Oh, I'm dying! Oh, damn. That was harsh. Both directors take full advantage of their artistic medium, but one is using it, the other is abusing it. The sniping scene in general, with its timing, would be tragic if it wasn't comedy gold. Do I need to say anything at this point? Is this tactical warfare? Whenever someone gets shot, they crowd around him in the exact same location. They use the same sound over and over again when they get shot. This image of Animal Mother works as an image, but not as anything else. He's just going around shooting randomly. That's not what you do. That's not what you're supposed to do. And when the horrible truth is revealed that she's a teenage girl with pigtails, Joker's gun jams, yes really, more likely he decided not to load it for peace reasons. Her sniper rifle turns out to be an AK-47, she moves directly in front of him while shooting, and the bullets come from the exact same angle every single time! He's so agitated by the loud noises that he throws up his arms and his weapon, and eventually decides to reach for his sidearm that he clearly has no intention of using. Rafterman shoots, more towards him really, and she falls, leading to this reaction shot. Again, really nice lighting from the sourceless, highly contained fires. The music continues grinding away, even though all of the tension should be diffused. It's part of the trick. They stand around her, she literally begs for death by saying, "Shoot me," directly into the camera, and Joker almost expresses something about it. Hardcore, man. Fucking hardcore. And there's a song about Mickey Mouse. And I'm not afraid. This is a horrifically tough film to get your head around. But seriously? None of the film scholarship? If I had to compare this movie to any other, it would actually be Tropic Thunder, an even more difficult film. Not a Vietnam War movie, a movie about Vietnam War movies that makes fun of the genre tropes and cliches. Although Kubrick's is much older, much darker, much smarter, and much more conceptual. This is a movie. The camera crew are filming. You are watching. Kubrick was a real motherfucker for this one. He absolutely blindsided me with his genius. More than bait, more than a troll movie. Cinematic treason. Real subversion of the genre and the medium for spiteful, mean-spirited ends. A sense of humour so dark that it's not visible. And yes, it is one of the funniest films I've ever seen. But when you get the joke, that's when it stops being funny. That's Kubrick funny. War is bad, and audience perception of war as conditioned by the movies is part of the problem. Mere cues are enough to generate the reaction. War films suck. This sucks. I made it this way on purpose. You laughed at Sucky Fucky. You cried at the ending. I left glaring mistakes in on purpose. I put a toothpaste ad in, and you thought it was a dictator. I had one of the soldiers die by Pink Fluffy Bunny. I put a film crew in, and you ignored it. I put in a scene where the actors laugh, and I ended the film by saying the Vietnam War turned boys into tough tigers. Fuck your awards. Ha, ha, ha. Thank you for your performance in Full Metal Jacket. Your services are no longer required.
You will not laugh. You will not cry.
Cut.